Welcome back, everyone, to Pod of Thrones. I'm Jeff.
I'm Jennifer.
This is a special We Watched Westworld special edition of specialness.
Spectacular?
Spectacular. So we were talking about this just a minute ago before we started recording about how this is episode 9.
Right.
The Well-Tempered Clavier. And
I thought we talked about this already.
We did. Well, we did a whole... Yeah, well, Lore Master Kevin has been guiding us through all the episodes, and he's not here right now, so we must have talked about it before. But if your memory feels a little bit fuzzy, it's because that was, I'm going to say 3 to 4 months ago.
Oh my God, that's so long.
We recorded it, and then I thought we'd probably release it pretty soon, but then we were pretty busy cranking away at Game of Thrones stuff and getting ready, of course, for the season premiere and doing all of our episode recaps. So yeah, we never quite got to releasing it. But we're out of town this weekend. As you're listening to this, we are at a family event far from here.
Yes. We can be in 2 places at once.
So I'm queuing this up so we can release it for this day.
It's almost as if we have a TARDIS. It was 3 or 4 months ago when we last watched this episode. Yeah,
something like that. And it feels really strange now. Here's the deal. Here's why I'm saying all this. Because we did watch this a long time ago. And in fact, I guess I'm glad we didn't put up 9 and then make everyone wait 4 months or so to hear 10, because we left sort of a cliffhanger there where I was a forgetful dum-dum head.
Oh,
and
dum-dum head.
Me dum-dum head. And I don't remember what your involvement in that was or not, but it was all about this picture. And Kevin was very disappointed, I think, that I didn't notice something about that picture that was in the sand in the very first episode. Because we didn't binge this. We just watched it later on after the fact, and they were spaced out a lot. Mm-hmm. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Wasn't it a picture of somebody?
It was.
Right.
Yes.
It was William's...
Yep.
Sister? Wife?
Something,
to be.
Yep.
Fiance.
Good. Yeah, you got there. You got there. I didn't want to spoil
Sister wife
anything
to be fiance.
Sister wives. So I just want to say that the conclusion of this is coming. We got to record with Kevin now very soon, and actually maybe rewatch episode 10, and get this done with, because season 2 is going to come probably any day now, I'm sure, and we need to be ready.
Any day.
Any day. Just like season 8 of Game of Thrones will also be any day now.
I did not get to see the Westworld thing at Comic-Con, but you did.
Yes.
How was that? Did you get any like spoiler trailers or anything? Teaser trailers?
They showed a little teaser, which is probably out on the internet by now. It didn't show a lot. I did some tweeting about it, but I don't have those tweets in front of me right now. But if you go to podofthrones.com and click on the link for our Comic-Con coverage, there's a gorgeous Westworld gallery of pictures that we have. And then in the captions of the pictures, I added in some commentary from people. Most of the majority of the answers were being given by the people that make the show, the showrunners, husband and wife couple. Names are escaping me right now. It's the little brother of the guy that makes the Batman movies and Inception and the one in space with the black holes that we didn't like.
Okay. It's good enough.
Jonathan Nolan.
Oh, you're so good.
Whew. I think it's Jonathan. Jonathan Nolan, the little brother of Christopher Nolan, and his wife, who now I can't remember her name right now either.
Something Nolan.
No, actually, it's not.
Oh, she kept her.
Maybe it's Lisa Joy. Does that sound right? Does that sound right to you, who wasn't there? Anyway, most of the answers were given by them, so I was just throwing stuff into the pictures of all the pretty people. And I was disappointed from the panel just in that a couple of the people didn't talk at all. Armistice, the snake tattoo lady, and Hector.
They didn't talk at all?
They didn't give any answers to anything. Huh. No one addressed a question directly to them.
That must suck for them.
There was one point right near the end where Armistice was like her mouth was open and she was about to say something, but someone else got there first and she just left it alone, and she never spoke up. I know, it was a real bummer. But other than that, it was a lovely panel.
Okay, so sorry to sidetrack. I was hoping you were going to tell me about next season.
Well, they didn't show a whole lot. Like Dolores riding on a horse with a shotgun looking kind of badass. I think it was Bernard maybe was checking out like a dead cow that was looking all like oozy and infected in a river. But there really wasn't much. They had just started shooting, so they brought in like a little teaser reel of what little they've done. And that was it. They didn't show anything particularly cool. It was just nice to see proof that they're going to continue the show. I guess that was really all we got out of it. So there was that. Yep. And I would go to potofthrones.com. The pictures are awesome. But anyway, this episode is just going to fade right in. I took out shit where we were talking about like what we were up to in our lives 4 months ago or whatever that was. And now we're busy at work and blah, blah, blah. I took all that out because fuck it. That was so long ago. We're just going to get to the episode. And babe, I think you should listen to this one.
I will.
Because I'm going to add in a little extra ear candy for you and everybody else. Something a little special.
Okay.
It's coming right up, and then maybe more.
I'm excited.
Later. So,
okay.
But we'll talk about that more for episode 10. Lore Master Kevin, enjoy. So Westworld season 1 episode 9 was called The Well-Tempered Clavier.
That sounds so sexy. What does that mean?
It's a type of piano, isn't it? I forgot to look that up, but I thought it was a type of piano. Am I right, Kevin?
It's a what?
A piano.
What you said.
A piano.
I was listening to Jennifer.
I said I thought it was a type of piano. Am I right?
Oh, I didn't look this one up.
What?
How do you spell it? What is it called?
Well, because this is the first time I realized it was called the Well-Tempered Clavier, because I always thought it said caviar.
The Well-Tempered
caviar.
Caviar.
Until now.
Well, now you know. I just now I don't know. Listen, so I just Googled, and I guess it actually is Clavier, according to the pronunciation guide here. I thought it was
music?
Clavier, but yes, it's a keyboard instrument, especially one with strings such as the harpsichord.
Oh,
so there you go.
Okay.
I was right. Very similar to a piano. Yay for me. I actually knew one. Usually that's your job, Kevin. All right, so it's a good piano. That's what this episode's all about. Oh, this episode did have good music, didn't it? But now I forgot what they were. Fuck me. Anyone have that?
Oh.
Let's just start talking about the plot.
Let's start talking about that because there's so much going on in this episode.
Yes, and all right. Well, let's start with something simple. Let's talk about Ashley. Ashley, our faithful security guard. Can we talk about him first?
Okay.
No?
Let's talk about him. Yeah.
Well, I just figure we get him out of the way because not a lot happens, but something happens. So Ashley gets one of his coworkers like, hey, so there's this signal from one of our missing people, Elsie, and we miss Elsie. And I think Ashley misses Elsie. So he goes to try to find her. And
he does.
He finds a bunch of Ghost Nation guys, and they are not responding to commands.
They do not. Nope.
But then, what happens to him after that? I mean, it just cuts out, so we don't know if he's going to be okay or not.
Nope. He just gets attacked.
Yeah. What do you think, babe? Are the Ghost Nation guys going to be capable of killing Ashley, or are they just going to knock him out like keeps happening to the Man in Black, no matter the number of concussions he receives?
No, he can't die.
Ashley?
Yeah.
Why not?
Which guy is Ashley? He's the other guy that's the bad guy, right?
No, he's the buff security guard guy.
Who's that?
Have you been listening to anything in the last 5 minutes?
I was trying to find the music.
Okay.
I found it.
Let's recap. Ashley, the head of security, gets a thing where they found Elsie's like transponder signal or whatever in some unused part of the park. He goes out there. He gets surrounded by Ghost Nation guys.
I don't think Elsie's dead. We didn't actually see her die.
We saw Bernard choking her out. That doesn't
that doesn't mean she's dead.
No, you're right. We've learned that from Game of Thrones. If we don't actually see them die. Wait, did we see her body in this episode, Kevin?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So if we don't actually see her as a corpse, she could somehow be okay. It seems unlikely, but it was unlikely that the Hound was going to get out of his predicament, and he's back. You know? Mm-hmm. So shit happens.
That is the truth.
But anyway, Ashley, he's definitely in trouble. The Ghost Nation guys are there. They're angry, and they are not responding to his security overrides. So that's bad.
They're surrounding him, and I don't understand who or where, who programmed, are these robots?
Well, yeah.
The Ghost Nation guys are robots, and they're just hosts. Rogue?
Well, we've seen them be part of the storyline. We saw them chasing after the train that Dolores was on, William and Dolores, right?
So really, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Well, that's the thing. That's the question, right?
I think we learned this in this episode that maybe they should be a little afraid of robots.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're definitely showing signs that they can do more than they're supposed to be able to do. Not the least of which is Maeve. Should we talk about her? Her part's kind of short, but important.
Yes, but it has the part that I told you guys about probably a few episodes ago.
Was it something where like, you guys are so right?
Very intense sex scene.
That was the very intense sex scene?
When they set on fire in the tent having sex?
Well, yeah, but we didn't see anything.
That was very intense.
Have to think about how it was going on.
All right. I actually disagree that it was intense.
What?
But I'll tell you.
You are you set yourself on fire while having sex before.
There's a very good reason for it.
Flames all around you.
Let's just
no big deal.
Let's talk about
this is just normal. This is no problem. Everything's fine.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes people need a certain something to get off. All right, I can respect that in Maeve. No, listen, I'll give you my reason for not thinking that it was that intense. In fact, kind of weirdly the opposite. But first, let's just talk about her other stuff, because that was how we didn't see what happened to her after the fire, but I'm sure it's not pretty. Okay, so the whole thing with Maeve is that she's back in one of the rooms again, and Bernard's examining her because, she's been acting up, and then she winds up taking control of Bernard. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
She was controlling other hosts around the park the last time we saw her in episode 8. But you would think, I would have thought, Bernard would probably have some special protocols on him. Sophie, could you please stop licking my hand?
Go away. All right.
So, was any of the licking noise coming through on microphone, I wonder?
Gross, probably.
I just want to cut this out. Boop again. Sophie, God, she's feeling very needy tonight. Sorry, Kevin. What was I saying? Oh, I would have thought that Bernard would have had some special protocols. He's a special kind of host, which, I mean, if we assume that not everybody working at the park is a host, I'm pretty sure they're not. Teresa wasn't. So if not everybody working at the park is a host, Bernard is very special because he's a host and no one else knows he's a host. So he needs to have extra tight security, doesn't he?
Bernard?
Yeah.
I have no clue.
But Maeve,
I don't know how to stick over him.
Maeve still got right. She took him over. She did freeze all motor functions, which is very much like the Harry Potter Petrificus Totalis, right? So he can't move anymore, but he's totally aware of what's going on. It's magic.
Yeah.
Unless Dr. Ford's planning this whole thing. I'm just saying.
Right.
Well, you've seen episode 10, which means he's probably not planning the whole thing, because otherwise you would have just spoiled it for us.
I think that
I'm just saying.
everybody's a robot.
No.
Everybody except Ford. Like this is all
I
just his
have been
playland.
pretty clear that I'm telling you guys like what I'm thinking, what I was thinking at different times during the show.
Right.
So
Fair enough.
this is what I was thinking at while this was going on. That that if he's planning all of this, then that would make it would be something that he wanted to happen, and he would allow Bernard for that to happen to him.
Yeah, and I had. Well, when we talk about Bernard's full thing, I've had kind of a funny feeling about Ford in that one too. All right, but either way, she takes over Bernard. Kind of a big deal. I think we can all agree on that. And she makes him realize that he's a host, which he had just gone through all the trouble of forgetting. I mean, come on, this poor guy, up and down with his emotions.
His brain's wiped.
Yeah, he's
hundreds of times.
I'm sure he cannot take much more of this kind of abuse.
Well. I don't know. I don't know what's making all of them break all of a sudden.
Well,
do we know? I mean, was it the reverie? Was really that?
Well, we had thought that, at least I had thought, that it was a sinister plot by Arnold.
Right.
But as we may have
Why
learned
now?
in this episode, Arnold might actually be dead and not just hiding in the center of whatever the fuck the maze turns out to be. It seems like Arnold's probably really dead. Just based on what we learned by the end of this episode.
Yes. Okay.
So if the hosts...
I think Arnold transplanted his... I think Arnold figured out how to have E-awareness.
E-awareness?
Yes. Like, I think he figured out how to transfer awareness into an electronic component.
Bernard or something else?
Bernard... Wait, who did I say?
Arnold. He transferred his consciousness into what?
So Bernard is Arnold?
Oh, spoilers.
Oh, sorry. Okay, wait. So I think that he figured out a way.
Anyone who is listening to this already knows this. And
well,
you
would hope so. You would hope so. But I'm trying to build the suspense anyway.
I think that anyone that... I think he figured out how to transfer awareness to an electronic whatever, memory of some sort.
So
he
Arnold's
put
still out
his
there.
own awareness into this server.
All right.
And that's where he is. I mean, you don't need your body to be alive.
Well, let's go back to like the first and maybe like second episodes, maybe the third episode. I can't remember exactly now, but like maybe someone dropped a picture of Las Vegas in the dirt, but it seemed kind of sabotagey to me early on because it really fucked with Dolores' dad's head, right? Just staring at that picture all night long.
That's what started the train rolling.
It seems to be what started the train rolling. But then also somebody planted a gun. Wasn't it in like her sock drawer or something? Like she woke up one morning and there's just a gun there?
No, I think that I think it wasn't there. Was it? I think it wasn't really there. She reopened the drawer and it wasn't there.
I don't think so. Kevin, do you remember?
I do.
Was the gun there?
Well, speak up, man. He's just kicking back, enjoying us. So there was no gun in Dolores' sock drawer or whatever?
No, I'm saying I'm not speaking up because you guys are getting all around what actually happened. And you'll find out more in episode 10. Well, you'll understand.
Well, here's what I'm saying, babe. If Arnold did die, but did transfer his consciousness into something, so there is still legitimate sabotage going on by Ford's former partner, if his consciousness is in something, it has to be something that can move around like a host because someone is still doing physical sabotage.
Yes.
The gun, at least, was proof of that.
Perhaps it was Bernard.
It could have been Bernard. Because they did try to, have some shared memories there. Now that the spoiler's already out. But let's talk about Maeve. So Maeve takes control of Bernard.
This is so confusing.
And Bernard is now sent back into... You
guys are starting to confuse me on it, and I know what happened.
That means we're way off, baby. So Bernard is now back in trying to figure out what his meaning and purpose in life is. So we got that. But then she makes him clear her for a return to the park because she still has stuff she needs to do in the park. Mm-hmm. And apparently that all revolves around Hector. Hector. So we finally get to see what happens after Hector's big heist, because they get away with the loot and then they take it out into the woods, and then all of his people wind up killing each other. Mm-hmm. Which seems an awful shame for the snake lady to die, because she was kind of badass.
Well, she'll be back.
Well, I know she'll be. She's not out of the show for good, but like for her plot line to be so cool and then to just end with getting killed by her own friends.
Well, maybe she will be in the next plot line.
All right, maybe.
We've already seen her twice. Two different plots.
If they reprogram her, do they take away her snake tattoo?
It depends.
Fine,
if they're going to reprogram her to be somebody like to take what's her name's
sure
place,
they have
Doris.
No problem being able to take away tattoos.
I know, but would they? I mean, it's part of her, and she's pretty cool. Okay, so Maeve talks to Hector, starts predicting everything that's about to happen to sort of prove that she's either a god or magic or has this amazing awareness because the world's not real. Very Matrixy, like nothing is what you think. And Hector goes along with it. Oh, and it turns out that all that treasure from the safe was 0 things. There was nothing in that safe.
They stole that, went through all of that for nothing.
And they all died except for Hector. Now they're all dead. They fought over it, and yeah, fucking idiots. So Maeve says she needs his help, and in order to get his help, they're going to have to die. She already got him killed at least once.
We're going to have to fuck, and we're going to have to die.
Which is what they did last time. So first of all, kind of repetitive.
She likes him.
Well, clearly.
And that is her favorite thing to do.
Fuck.
Why not do your favorite thing while you're dying?
I don't know. I think her favorite thing to do is manipulate the shit out of people. But maybe fucking's a second favorite.
I mean, that's pleasurable.
She likes being naked.
She likes dangerous sex. She's stabbing people with knives. She's setting tents on fire.
Didn't she stab herself with the knife?
She's choking. Remember, she had to get choked by the guy. No, she had Hector do it because she couldn't do it.
Well, Hector stabbed her, but she didn't stab anyone. For sex.
I'm saying like that was during sex too, right?
Yeah, she got herself stabbed. She got herself choked out.
Yeah.
So that's a thing for
people. She's into some freaky, intense sex, and
this time it involves fire. No, well, I'm not. I don't want to stab, babe. I'm never going to stab you during sex.
Oh, you stab me all the time.
As those words were coming out of my mouth, I was like, wait a second, that doesn't.
Hey, but let's be clear: the sex was absolutely intense.
No. Oh, fucking god damn it, Kevin. Is that what the fuck you were talking about this whole time? That was your joke. Oh, can I fire Kevin?
Oh, man.
I don't get it.
No, it was in both sense of the word. Because, I mean, come on.
Oh.
Intense.
That is awesome.
But no, you were still trying to say it was actually intense.
No, that joke was, it was in a tent and it was intense.
Well, fine. But here's why I don't think it was intense.
Because you've done worse?
No, it's because all she's doing is manipulating. I'm not even sure if she likes to fuck. I think she's just using her robot pussy to get her robot way.
No, she likes him.
Okay, I think she does like him. I'll give you that. But that's not why she was fucking him.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. She needed to die, and her favorite way to die. Maybe it's because she's a robot, so I don't know how this translates. But if a human is having sex and, being all wild and crazy, the endorphins are going, you have a higher pain tolerance. That's a legitimate scientific thing. So maybe robots have a similar kind of mindset, or at least she does. But the reason I don't think that sex scene was that great, besides the fact that you saw nothing, they were both fully clothed, was because she lit the place on fire and started, making out with him a little bit, and he was probably getting into it. But she kept just looking over, checking on the fire, I just thought she looked bored. But then she would look back and start kissing him some more. Just very matter-of-fact look on her face.
Well, she's very matter-of-fact now.
Well, she is, but that makes it a not intense fuck.
I see.
In my book.
Okay.
I'm not trying to naysay the intensity.
Never look away.
I'm not trying to naysay the intensity of fucking in the middle of possibly burning to death. Uh-huh. That would be very intense. But
let's do that if that ever happens.
On.
Let's do that.
But she did not look like she was that into it.
I gotta watch the news now. I gotta watch the news and see if they have a couple.
accidentally burned their house to the ground while trying to spice up their sex life.
Heat up
More at 11.
their sex life.
Oh, babe. Now you're on the Kevin train. Oh, God, you two. I don't even know if he heard that. Your little joke. He'll listen back later. He'll hear it. You'll love it, Kevin. You'll love the joke she just made. All right, so that sums up Maeve's story because we still don't really know what her plan is, but maybe she wants to escape the park, but how Hector is related to that or will help her, I don't know. I don't think we're supposed to know.
Nope.
How about Teddy? Should we talk about Teddy? He's
sure.
I don't know if he's important or not anymore. I mean, he was Dolores' one true love, and clearly that's not a thing.
He seems to be taking a little bit of a break.
Well, and she is too, because she did fuck William at least once.
I don't understand how they're not getting like daily checkups or whatever. Let's
I
fix
absolutely agree. Well, and do they ever have to go back to their charging stations?
Right.
I mean, we had a Roomba
No, they run on
once,
solar power.
And the Roomba,
oh my God,
I mean, that thing
stupid.
needed charging pretty regularly.
And it could never, ever get itself on its charger.
Right. So these guys are at least able to plug themselves in at night. But like Dolores used to go to bed and her mind would reset every day and she'd start a routine over again. And she hasn't had that in ages, but she's also, kind of sentient now. So.
Right. And maybe that's part of what's happening here is that they're not resetting.
It's all sleep deprivation.
No, they're just not resetting. They're not getting that white slate.
Well, and
clean.
if you don't get your slate wiped clean, you start
leaking.
They have enough.
Things start leaking.
Well, they have enough very advanced artificial intelligence where they can actually grow and learn. They learn from each other. Was it Bernard that was saying that? I think in one of his flashbacks, he was talking to Teresa about how the reason that the hosts chat with each other is because they're constantly like auto-correcting. They're always looking for ways to improve themselves. So if you don't have a nightly reset, I suppose sentience is eventually a natural side effect. You've got to have the most amazing artificial intelligence that's never been invented yet first, but still, it makes sense. That's what people do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But Teddy is crazy. Can we all agree on that?
I don't know. Is he crazy?
I don't actually agree on that.
Well, Teddy's been having these flashbacks.
What do you call that?
Right.
Hero. He's got that's very high.
But he's not a hero.
No, but that's one of his characteristics is they have that as a high characteristic. So he's always trying to be that hero.
Well, yeah, but his flashbacks thus far, like he has this dark past.
Those flashbacks are cray-cray.
Well, he has the dark past involving Wyatt killing everybody in a town, and then he's like...
It was him.
He's like got Wyatt's back, right. But now this episode, this Angela girl points out, somehow helps him remember, I guess, that it wasn't Wyatt after all, it was him. But then she's talking about Wyatt hasn't returned yet, but when he does return, Teddy will be right there. Mm-hmm. And I'm just getting another, I know we talked about this not too long ago, but it just feels real Fight Club again of like, maybe Teddy and Wyatt are actually the same guy.
He must be.
It seems like it, but then she killed him. Maybe she's hoping that when he comes back to life the next day, or whenever someone comes out there to pick him up, that he'll be Wyatt next time. Maybe it's kind of a Groundhog Day thing. She'll keep killing him until he learns his lesson. Kevin can't say anything yet again.
No, I can't. I think, again, you guys have to remember back to an earlier episode to understand what's going on.
Well, tell us what.
Do you remember? Okay, in that scene, he complains about like it was like the devil was controlling me. He complains how he wanted to stop but he couldn't.
Yep.
All right, so we've already seen Maeve doing that to people. We saw her doing it to Bernard, right? Controlling him.
Oh.
Controlling him into the slaughter.
Okay.
So if everything in the park keeps happening like over a time period and stuff like that, in the first episode, there was a story that Dolores tells Teddy.
Oh my gosh!
Do you remember
first
the story?
Episode? No, that I do not remember.
It was about the Judas steer. Do you remember where the steer would always be the one that never got slaughtered? So they wouldn't think anything was wrong, and it would lead the other people into slaughter. The other steer into slaughter.
Even as you're saying it, I still do not remember it. But now I'm going to have to watch this all again someday.
she tells a story about a steer that whenever it goes to the slaughterhouse, they never kill it. So that when later on, when they want to bring steer to the slaughterhouse, they bring that one, and it's already been there, so it's not scared. So other people are going, so the other ones will follow it because it's not throwing out the vibes of being scared.
Hmm.
Right? Oh, okay, so, all right.
That's what Teddy kind of is, leading these people into the slaughter. So he's leading all the other robots into it.
Can you imagine?
Is that what he's doing? So, okay. So, Kevin, are you saying that Wyatt actually did kill those people, but it was all Teddy's fault?
Like, Teddy leads them into it.
And so that's why Teddy is now remembering it as if he had done the killing because he was responsible for it? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Huh.
Sort of.
Because he leads them into it.
But in his last flashback, he was actually killing the people. So, again...
Because he was being controlled to do it. I think next episode does a good job of explaining it.
Maybe Wyatt was just one of the programmers that went rogue.
Maybe.
That'd be funny. But if that was the case, why the hell would Ford introduce a plot line surrounding it? None of this makes any sense. Ford is maybe the craziest of all the crazies.
He's a robot, too.
He really is.
He really is a robot?
Everybody's a robot.
Well, we'll find out, I guess.
We should talk about William and...
Well, but we can leave Teddy with the Man in Black thing. So the Man in Black was still hanging out and then gets knocked out again. That dude is going to have serious problems with his brain. But anyway, Angela knocks him out. And then he wakes up. He's noosed. He's tied to a horse. He could die, I guess. Robot horse, I suppose. But then he's going to get himself out of it. And then Charlotte shows up. And they talk about Ford and voting him out.
Maybe that's not a robot horse. Because the robot horse can't hurt him.
Well,
it is a robot horse.
Could a host hurt you if it doesn't know what it's doing?
No. Absolutely not.
That's why he's not scared. That's why he's not scared. He knows he can't really die on this.
He looked a little scared, but he could get hurt if not die. Yeah, that's true.
Right.
He could definitely get hurt. But then Charlotte shows up, and then he's okay anyway. So, but then they talk about voting Ford out, and it turns out that Man in Black is a member of the board of directors.
Yeah.
So there. He tries to keep a low profile, which is probably why many episodes ago Ashley was like, "Oh, that guy, he gets whatever he wants," but no one's willing to talk about exactly who he is. Just he can do whatever he wants. All right, so I don't know what the significance of this is, except voting Ford out. But is everything else the Man in Black said true? Is he really basically a psychopath that his family had to run away from or kill themselves? I don't know.
Seems so.
I guess we'll...
Why would he lie about himself?
I guess we'll find out more next episode. It was a very small part. Most of this episode was about Dolores and Bernard, so it was just a little tidbit of Man in Black. Dolores next?
Dolores.
William and Dolores and Logan.
They're back at the camp.
The Confederados.
Yes.
Logan has them captured. What do you think of Logan now, babe?
Now?
Swell guy?
No, I think he's still the same arrogant a-hole that he always was.
I feel like Logan is the type of person at the park that I would be. Like, I just want to go and have fun. And
you don't think you could fall in love with a robot?
No. I know it's a robot. I want to just go have fun and do stuff I wouldn't normally do in real life.
Well, okay.
And I'd be making fun of the people who are trying way too hard.
Well, making fun of people that are trying too hard is one thing, but he's hurting his own friend. He seems to think
Logan is?
Well, William, yeah. I mean,
I said I'd be like Logan.
Well, no, I know, but you're saying you would be like Logan, making fun of people, but Logan's doing more than making fun of people that are taking it too seriously. He's actually being kind of a dick to William and, physically hurting him at times. Don't you think? I mean, that you wouldn't do that, would you, Kevin? Okay. If I was taking it too seriously, you would punch me?
If you were doing what you were doing and my sister is involved because you're doing it to her, like in back, yes, I would probably punch you.
Okay, so Logan's the protective brother. All right. But
who's he protecting?
His sister. Because William's
But he was a jerk before that. He was a jerk to him before that.
Maybe he's always never liked him because he's marrying his sister. Maybe it's that no one's good enough type thing.
Oh, maybe he's in love with his sister. We get a lot of
he's
a lot of
sister
themes
father.
that come back around again. Game of Thrones, Westworld.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
Was he in Game of Thrones?
No, I'm not saying the characters or the actors. I'm just saying themes.
He just kind of looks familiar.
There are themes that come.
Yes, I know. He just looks familiar.
Oh, it's the beard. It does that. Okay, so he winds up... it seemed like he was threatening to maybe sexually assault Dolores, but that's not what he wound up doing. He wound up assaulting Dolores. Cut her guts open.
Yeah, and all of her electrical parts fell out.
Yeah. Well, they didn't fall out.
I know. It just sounded good.
He just exposes making a tear, but you missed the most important part of their exchange.
I'm sorry?
When Logan produces a photo of his sister.
Yeah. Oh. What?
Did you not recognize that picture?
No.
It's this. Oh my goodness!
Damn it.
It's the same picture that Abernathy saw and went crazy in the first episode.
Wait, what?
What?
No, what?
It is the same picture.
Dang it! This is what we get for being
out.
sleepy. We got to go watch that again.
Okay.
Fuck.
It's the exact same picture.
Maybe we should pause and come
Abernathy
back.
saw, except in this episode it's brand new, and in Abernathy picture it's been old and worn.
Oh my god! Am I in fuck?
Wait a second. Is there some time travel shit happening? Wait a second. What the fuck is going on? Wait.
How are you not getting this yet?
How am I not getting what?
We didn't
What's
see
going
the picture.
on?
I don't know why I didn't catch the picture thing. I feel like a jackass, but if it's the same picture, but it's shiny and new and was eventually buried in the dirt, then that makes me think that perhaps, I can't talk right now, that perhaps the whole William Logan storyline is actually taking place like 50 years ago. Fuck.
Or maybe 30.
I don't know
God
about
damn
this.
I cannot believe you didn't pick up on the picture.
Should it bother me now? Because now you got me thinking in all sorts of directions, Kevin. Should it
Right,
bother
that's
me?
the whole point of the picture, is to get you thinking in all sorts of directions.
I don't know that I saw the picture clear on the first episode.
Well, I just remember being in Las Vegas, but I don't.
It's at his feet. He kicks it over, he pulls it over, and then and then in that episode, and the episode, the original, which is the first episode, Peter discovers the photo, kind of buried, and he takes it home and becomes obsessed with it, and that's where he's just sitting there holding the picture. He shows his daughter, and what does she say? That's right before he says, "These violent delights have violent ends."
But she doesn't see anything, right?
Looks like nothing to me.
Right, looks like nothing to me, which is people are the robots are programmed not to see stuff that's gonna question their reality.
Right.
Right, but God damn it! I mean,
right, but then it's the exact same photo in that episode when he brings it out and says, "Don't you remember your sister, Juliet, or your fiancée Juliet?" And then he shows that picture when it's brand new.
This is going to very much guarantee that as soon as season 7 of Game of Thrones is over, we're watching all this shit again, because this is getting very confusing now. Because now we're talking about 2 separate timelines, at least 2 separate, maybe 3 different timelines, because, oh God. The thing about Dolores this time, okay, so she gets stabbed in the guts, and then
runs through the
cuts
desert.
Logan's face up, and then she runs off. But then all of a sudden she's healed again, and she's surprised about that. So maybe that's a timeline. But then, as she gets to the town and goes in the church and goes downstairs, sometimes she's in her powder blue Alice in Wonderland dress again. So that would be a 3rd timeline. If it's not, if she's not just going crazy, then that's a 3rd timeline.
Right.
One timeline for her to get stabbed. The second timeline where she hasn't been stabbed because that was a long time ago or something, and she's just remembering it. She's one crazy bitch. No matter how you slice it, she may be the craziest of them all.
Right. But the when you see the guest, you see that photograph. That was that was like the crowning the I don't know, like the spoken gun of theories of, hey, it's a different timeline. Because that's what people had been saying from the very beginning of the show, is that, hey, they're in two different timelines, and people are like, no, they can't be, and they would point out reasons why. But then when you see the exact same photo, brand new, when you saw that photo later on, people are like, okay, maybe you guys are right. Maybe there is another timeline.
Well, there was stuff that they were presenting elsewhere, like Dolores having her Alice in Wonderland dress, sitting in that chair sessions with Bernard, or what we thought was Bernard. But we all thought that those were, I think, Babe, you thought those were dreams. I thought those were like secret Wi-Fi communications because Bernard is up to something suspicious. I'm sure I was the one that was like, this is exactly what the writers want us to think. Like, I got suckered in most. But but maybe it wasn't any of that. Maybe it was dreams, or they're just showing us a different fucking timeline and just fucking with our heads.
Right, because again, you have robots that never age, so you can do that.
And then when she comes back out of there and she goes in, as she comes out of the little hole, she's in the church and it's filled with people. Or was it empty?
You open the doors and you see all the people?
Yeah. Was it empty this time? It was, I feel like there were people in it. And then man in black.
There was, when she went into the church, there were crazy people in it that were praying because they didn't know what was going on in their bicameral minds. But when she came out of the church, there was no one there, just the man in black.
Is he really there?
And the stabbing of Dolores and what Logan does afterwards is big hints to another twist, and I'm not going to tell you. So you'll find out even better on this in the next episode.
Okay, well, I'm just going to lay some stuff out now because it's bugging me. All right, now that if there really are multiple timelines going on and the whole picture thing that I somehow missed through 2 viewings, I feel really bad about that. I'm sure everyone's turned off this podcast now. It's just out of shame for me. But if anyone's listening, I'll try to redeem myself here. If there's really 2 timelines going on, at least 2, and this happened a long, long time ago with Dolores getting stabbed in the guts and the showing of the picture.
I think she's just...
But one of the things that William and Logan were talking about a few episodes back was how their company was talking about buying this place.
Mm-hmm.
And the only other thing I can add to that is that Logan wears a lot of black. Kevin is silent.
Yeah.
He's not going to say anything. So good on you, Kevin.
I'm not.
All right.
I mean, you forgot a couple more things that happened or the episode, so I'm not going to ruin it for you because you'll find out a lot more in episode 10.
I keep assuming that the man in black and William and Logan are going to run into each other someday. But maybe not.
They already did.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Logan... Oh, here we go. Let's say
we'll
Logan...
sit down next episode and we'll talk, and I'll point out some of the big, huge clues of something that you missed.
Point out what dumbasses we are. I think missing the Vegas picture was enough to point out we're dumbasses.
I don't believe you missed it. That's why when you texted me and told me that you were rewatching it, I said, "Did you notice something different this time, or did you notice anything else this time?" Because that wasn't what I was pointing at.
Yeah, because I wasn't texting you going like, "Oh my god, the picture."
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, well, how come we did not know? That was the first, when I watched the episode, the first thing I noticed was the picture.
I fucking don't know. But, all
That's because we're both a little bit ADD.
A little bit. So I'll just try one more on you, babe, since I know Kevin's not going to comment. Let's say Logan is the man in black. All right?
Yes.
And William is some guy, and Dolores was a robot that Logan cut open.
Okay.
I mean, just the face slashing alone would be at least some explanation of why Man in Black hates Dolores so much and keeps wanting to torment her. But also, maybe something happens to William before this is all over.
Well, he doesn't care about William. He wants him dead.
Well, he's kind of fucked up.
Perhaps William does something to Logan to make him lose something and leaves with Dolores, but they get Dolores back.
Well, they must get Dolores back. Well, yeah, so maybe either
So like smashes his sister or makes her go crazy or something.
Right. So maybe William like calls off the wedding, maybe ruins his sister's life, maybe William betrays Logan even more in some other way because of trying to help Dolores, or maybe much the same way she did something that we have yet to find out the details of to kill Bernard or Arnold. Maybe Dolores kills William too, but accidentally.
But Logan doesn't give a shit.
Does the man in black have a scar on his cheek?
You have to go back and rewatch.
All right. Yeah.
Or just watch episode 10. I mean, you've watched episode 9 twice now.
We
You could have moved on to 10.
We could just watch episode 10 and then
Have they never said his name?
The man in black? No, never. Never. Quite deliberately, I've never said his name. It's one of those annoying things.
Okay.
It doesn't seem quite realistic, but it sure does make for an interesting show. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think does that round out the Dolores storyline for this episode? I mean, we hear her confess to killing Arnold, whoever Arnold is. But I think that's pretty much it. I mean, right? We don't see any more of William or Logan after Dolores gets away, really. Like, they have a brief scene. William's going to do something, but we don't know what that is yet. And that's it. Right, Kevin?
Those guys. We still have to talk about
Bernard.
Bernard and Robert.
Right.
And then we also have to talk about did we talk about Dolores, Robert, and Bernard?
Dolores, Robert, and Bernard?
Yeah.
No. You mean the scene with them all together? Because I think that was last episode. Or maybe that was Maeve. God dang it. I don't know.
Let's go with Bernard. Let's go with Bernard and Robert, and we'll get into the other part of it.
All right. And Clementine. Don't forget Clementine. So Bernard's had this awakening at the hands of Maeve, and he calls Ford to a meeting in cold storage, which is always a good place for a meeting. You get to walk past the zombie army.
What do you think it smells like down there?
Kevin, that question's for you.
Always asking the important questions.
Yes, she does. Well, she was talking about this while we were watching. This is why we miss things like the pictures, because we're having a debate about whether or not host flesh rots or otherwise gets gamey or stinky, because it's not biological, but it's almost biological. So what does it smell like in cold storage, Kevin? As a part of this show, you are required to ring in now.
Mildew.
Just wet, just sort of damp
mildew.
Right.
Yeah.
It is, it's a soft, semi-porous tissue, I suppose. So
I think you can get mildew skin.
Well, skin can get all sorts of, real skin can get fungus aplenty.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what athlete's foot is, right? And more, many, many more. We won't talk about those now. All right, so mildew it is. I think that's the end of the episode then, right?
Yes.
That was it.
Mildewy people.
All right, so
they meet there in the room,
lot of talking,
and
a lot of talking.
First in okay.
What? No, go. Say stuff.
Nope, you go.
Well, I mean, look, there's a lot of talking. He wants to know why Ford has done this to him. He wants all the info, and in case Ford is thinking that he's just not going to give all this info up, he's got Clementine programmed. Her protocols have been turned off, so she could be dangerous. She's got a gun with a funny orange plastic tip on it, which I thought was really weird and off-putting because it looks like a toy gun.
Well, they don't want to scare anybody. You just got to be clear it's not a real gun.
But we got dead-eyed Clementine holding a gun on Ford, and Bernard is saying, this is it. Tell me everything or I'm going to kill you. Show me everything. Give me my memories back.
And he does. Interestingly. It's like a game to him.
For Ford?
Yes.
Well,
he's fascinated by all of it.
He seems very matter-of-fact about giving the memories up. Like, he doesn't get all irate. He doesn't seem particularly scared. Like, there was maybe a twinge of fear for a second when Clementine came out, but it didn't last very long.
It's almost as if he has telekinetic powers.
Wait, he's got something because he's been turning, like when he freezes time, so to speak. He does that without saying like stop all motor functions. He's got some kind of other remote control somewhere. It would be nice to know how he's doing that. Hopefully we'll find out.
He presses a button on his leg.
Yeah, it could be. Sitting comfy in the chair, like his legs sort of straddle open, and that's gonna he just keeps scratching his ankle, and we don't know why. He seemed a little worried for a second, but he also seemed very. But we know he's erased Bernard's memory a bunch of times, and there was something about the conversation that reminded me, not in a complimentary way, I guess, but reminded me a lot of maybe the third Matrix movie when Neo finds like that one dude who engineered everything and is making the Matrix happen over and over and over and over again. And Neo's just, another cog in the chain, and it keeps happening.
It's like an acceptance.
Yeah. That seems like what it was. That's how it felt to me with Ford talking to Bernard.
It's almost like, all right, here we go again.
Yeah. Let's do this. And then we'll erase it again, probably.
It seems to me that he would be able to just turn it off with his mind, though.
Well, he was giving Bernard a chance. That's what we found out at the end. He figured, all right, let's show Bernard all these memories, maybe again. Let's show Bernard all these memories of everything he always wanted to know about his past. And then when he finds out all the truth, maybe he'll be okay with it. It seems like Ford was taking a gamble on that.
What do you think, Kevin?
I think you guys are getting real close to the truth, and I can't wait for you to see the next episode.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's just finish this so we can go watch. And we're done.
No.
What did we learn? We saw more memories of Bernard's kid. We saw some more memories of Bernard's wife. And then eventually we find out that none of that was actually Bernard. Those were probably memories made for Bernard because they actually happened to
Arnold. As Jennifer gave away earlier.
Sorry.
Yeah. The spoiler queen. That's what we used to call her back in days past. I don't know. Back in my day, I was the spoiler queen.
I like that. Could be queen of something.
Oh, baby, you're the queen of my heart.
Oh.
I'm going to edit out that sound of Kevin vomiting, so it's okay. Beep. Go, babe. Your thoughts and feelings?
Oh my gosh. I have no fucking idea. No idea.
Mind blown?
I just want to know what happens.
No offense, Bernard.
That end of the episode was like one of the most chilling things that ever happened.
Yeah,
I feel.
It really. I mean, it's like everybody's maybe worst fear or like worst case scenario of what happens if you go to like let someone hypnotize you, right? Like you lose control of your body and all of a sudden, or I guess just the hand of God, which is what Ford really is to the hosts. You can be forced to do something and have no control whatsoever.
Right, and he's like begging him, like he's even using Arnold's voice,
But he never like cried or screamed. It was still very, very even tempered, right? Wasn't it?
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what's so chilling about it. Like he has no control and he wants control and he just all he can do is beg and
don't do
gets
this.
To do it anyways.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Yes, it
right.
would.
But see, I wanted to point out that in an earlier episode, Logan tells William that Arnold committed suicide. But in this one, when Dolores is in the
wait, who told
inside the
That's right.
Wait. Who told who?
Logan had told William that Arnold had committed suicide.
When did Logan and William talk about Arnold?
Early on in the when they first got there.
Did they?
Yes.
All right. You remember that, babe?
I do.
I don't remember.
On the train, I believe.
Was it? What did they actually say, Arnold, or was it like one of the guys that made this place went crazy?
That was one of the co-owner, the co-creator.
I think he didn't know his name. He said one of the co-creators. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But in this episode, we see Dolores remembering killing Arnold.
But
I guess that could be suicide by host, right?
Well, we don't know what she did. We didn't see that.
But then,
we just saw her being sad about it.
Right. This is what I was talking about. Dolores, Robert, and Bernard. That was part where she's in the church and she remembers it, and then as she's about to leave the church, and the door opens up.
Now, maybe.
And she expects to see William because she calls William, but who does she see instead?
She sees fucking Man in Black, who
Right, so
may
that's like-
even be Logan for all I know at this point. Definitely not William. And if she was expecting to see William, then she is even crazier.
Maybe
That's what
she
makes it-
didn't really kill Bernard or Arnold.
Well,
Maybe she didn't really kill him. Maybe Ford programmed her to feel responsible for his death because
I
he died
seriously think
because of her.
no, because
You
I
think
really
she really
think
did?
from that she did it, because otherwise, I mean, this is why Ford put her in to the time loop where she gets raped and her family killed every single night. Remember when she asked him,
Right.
"Are we old friends?" And he says, "I wouldn't say that."
right. And he did it with a face that only Anthony Hopkins could make. He's amazing.
Right.
He really is. I don't know that
If
I've
there's
ever
any- if
appreciated
there's-
him as an actor as much as I have now with Westworld. I mean,
He had
the-
that squint in his eye.
the
and-
different ways he can play so many little emotions. I just haven't noticed it as much as I have in this show. I've never noticed how amazing he is before. He's great,
He is amazing.
but this is blowing me away. He's so good.
Well, I can't wait to watch more.
Well, maybe we should just go do that.
Yes. I vote yes.
I mean, we do have a sort of limited time frame when we want to release this because Game of Thrones season 7, by the time you hear this, listening audience,
Yes!
is starting in
I
days.
can't wait.
In days, it's starting.
Can't wait.
Yes.
I'm so excited. All right, that's the end of the episode.
So really, the mysteries have just thickened up even more as we go into the final stretch. I mean, Bernard dying, that was sad. But he could come back because he's a fucking host. So I don't know how I can really feel about that. Was it
Right,
that
he
sad?
could be back
I don't know.
tomorrow.
He could be back tomorrow, except, of course, he wouldn't have his memories. That's the really sad part, is that he can come back. He's immortal, but they're going to take his brain away again. And
So he doesn't even know he's immortal.
That's just mean.
Well, at least he's immortal.
I would like to be immortal. I would like that a lot.
I don't know.
Have we talked about this before? I can't remember. I feel like you and I, in our lives, have talked about that question quite a bit. And you're always like, nah, immortality wouldn't be that great. And I'd be like, yes, give me eternal life.
Yeah, it seems like you would get. I am so disgusted with humans right now. Human beings are just awful.
Yeah, but if you were immortal, you would see past some of that and you would just kind of look at the bigger picture eventually. Like it
Maybe.
would take a while, like Dr. Manhattan from The Watchmen,
Okay.
where he over time just kind of lost his humanity because he was so far beyond it.
Or
he
like
just didn't
Ego.
get it anymore. Who?
Ego.
Oh, Ego the Living Planet.
Yes.
Once good intentioned, then totally lost his grip on what life is all about eventually.
Well, that's what his life was all about.
Well, he didn't even care about his wife that he loved.
He loved a lot of ladies.
I guess being immortal would be kind of like that. Maybe it would suck. But I just want to see things. I want to marvel at the wonders of the universe. And I can't do that within my lifetime.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah. Based on what we saw in Alien Covenant, if you and I could just live for another 75 years, we could totally be asleep on a spaceship going out into the deep reaches of space.
I love that.
Totally going to happen in the next 75 years.
Well, we'll find a serum.
Okay. I'm all for that.
I don't know if Kevin's still around.
I think we put him to sleep.
I'm still here. I've always thought about the immortality thing.
Would you do it?
I think after so many centuries, you'd be like, okay, I gotta die.
That's a possibility. And it would really suck if you were immortal, but the planet died and it was just 1,000
sad.
degrees and, every other human being is dead. It's just you and some cockroaches.
It would be
and-
like Adventure Time.
But even
Yeah.
worse. Well, maybe you could build a new civilization. That
My
would
problem
be
is
awesome.
I don't want to outlive my family, my friends. I don't want to outlive my kids or their kids.
You could always have more.
It would be
Men's
lonely.
sperms are good all the time.
Well, not for the
Yes, but
Highlanders.
just to watch them
They
just
were
to
immortal.
watch them die. Yeah, I could.
Yeah, that's the curse.
You get over it. You would get over
That's
it.
the curse of immortality. We learned that if you watch Highlander. We learned that over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks to be immortal and fall in love. They couldn't have kids.
But you get to love many times.
Oh, yes, you do. Ooh la la. Yeah. Well,
Anyways,
it's probably not an
go
option
watch
for
episode
us.
10.
Episode 10. All right. So we're going to go. I guess we could go do that now if we wanted to.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do it. We're going to do it, Kevin.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to do it.
You're
and then we're
making
going
him
to tell
so
you all about it.
uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear the discomfort in his voice. All right. Well, thanks for joining us there, Kevin. This recap would have been a complete mess without you because somehow we did not notice that fucking picture.
You'll see it again.
All right.
You'll see it again in episode 10.
We'll see it when we rewatch it tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
It's an episode 10 as well. You'll see it then.
All right. Okay.
Let's go. Let's do it. I want to watch it.
All right. Let's go. All right. We're going. Goodbye, Kevin.
All right.
Goodbye,
Bye,
babe.
Kevin.
Give me a big plate of nachos.
Yum.